Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Property Business Podcast. We have myself, James Hughes, Jonathan Woods, and Adam Priscak on the
Good
pod
morning.
this morning. Adam, how are we?
Good morning. I'm very good. Thank you very much. How are you?
I'm amazing. Adam, you asked John, is he on holiday once again? Looks like you are, John. Where are you today? You working hard?
No, I am. Yeah, I've just been to a golf lesson and I'm working from the golf club today. But it's good. That's one of the great things. You remotely work wherever you want. We're just doing a podcast now from the technology we have allows us to be able to work wherever we need to, which is a great thing about it, which I love.
Yeah. And also the freedom. Today is Monday morning. I was down at David Lloyd this morning. I've just done a photo shoot. Now doing a podcast. I have Aquatops later with my son at 12:30. 3 viewings later at South Croydon, then up to Camden. So complete flexibility in what we do. But it's not about you and me, John. We're keen to get Adam on and hear Adam's story because Adam is in the shadows very quietly doing amazingly well. So we were very keen to kind of get you on, Adam. Adam, let's go into your numbers first of all. When did you start EXP?
So I went live on the 14th of December.
Amazing.
So left my job middle of November, had a month garden leave when I concentrated on sort of doing the compliance and setting the business up. Had my photos taken, my headshots taken, and then started on 14th of December. So it's been 6 months.
And your pipeline, what's your pipeline?
Pipeline is now exactly 43,900.
It's amazing. Really
That's
well done.
awesome. And on your website, you have 12 properties found, as well as already one completed, which we'll discuss. So that is awesome. And that's where I was keen to get you onto the pod. But let's go back. Let's go back, Adam. So prior to EXP, let's talk about your real estate career and your career in general. Yeah, talk to us through that.
So if I go all the way back, I used to be a photographer since I was 18, for 12 years of my life. Then COVID came. I lost all of my clients all at once and decided I need to change my job or find something where I can build a career. So I thought, okay, I like people, and I just like people, and I always liked houses. It's not about houses, it's about the people. So I thought, okay, let's try selling houses. I knew a couple of people that did really, really well in real estate, and I joined a high street agency where I didn't make any money at the beginning. It was really hard. It was a big investment of time. And I really enjoyed it though. So I did that for about a year and a half. Then I went over to Foxtons, where I quickly ran away from it after 8 months because it was insane working hours, not enough money. And then I went back to the agency where I started, which was Acorn, did well again. And then I realized I wanted not just to do better, but to actually provide better service, because I really enjoyed what I was doing, but I thought my level of service could be much more improved, much more bespoke, and I could put my own stamp on it and do what I really, really wanted to do, the way I run my own photography business, or being my own boss, not just choosing my own clients, but delivering a tailored service where before everything was sort of given to me from the top.
So have you been an agent only since COVID, i.e. 2022?
Roughly, yeah, about three and a half years now.
Wow, that's amazing. I just assume as someone of your experience and caliber that you've got 10 years agency experience, but that's amazing to hear. Why do you think you were so good at being an agent so quickly, going from photography to agency? Like, why do you think you've done so well?
I think it was a transferable skill where I had the people skills.
Okay.
And I wasn't an estate agent, and that's why people liked me, because I wasn't the usual stigma that UK estate agents carry. I didn't have that. I was I was really, really fresh, I guess really naive in a way, and not salesy. And I think not being salesy really helped me close the deals. It's just really natural.
So why did you go from Acorn to Foxtons and then back to Acorn?
I thought I would try to join the biggest name in the UK estate agency, which was supposed to be Foxtons. But I think Foxtons are not what they used to be 20 years ago. I always heard the great stories about Foxtons, but I think it's the people that are there for 20 years now or 15 years. The higher ups, the ops directors, they're doing okay. But on the lower levels, it wasn't like that at all.
And where were you? Where were you based? Which areas were you covering? And what was your role? Were you a junior negotiator? Were you a lister? What were you doing? And where were you
I
working?
was what they call a rare negotiator. So rare negotiator can sell the whole price range, so to the upper end. And I was in Southeast London in Blackheath, which is a lovely office, but not enough business for the amount of people that they had. So I feel like the maximum you can make in this region, not in central London, they can probably make more, but was about 40 to 50,000 a year.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of work to do that as well. A lot of hours, a lot of meetings, KPIs, a lot of pressure. I think to get to that point.
6 days, 5 days, weeks, then 8 till 7 every single day. It was a lot, and I had a little baby at home as well at the same time. And I just felt like, okay, well, if I'm going to be out the whole time, I need to make a lot of money. But I was out and not making any money. So it just didn't make any logical sense. So I went back to Acorn because the work-life balance was a little bit better and the money was better. And I had more opportunity to grow as well. And at Foxtons, it takes like 7 years to get promoted to be a manager.
So we had made contact, I think, at the time when you were going back from Foxtons to Acorn. Yeah. Why did you not join EXP then? And what was it that actually made you join EXP?
I didn't think I was ready, first of all. Second of all, it was finances, which I was telling you then. But I felt like that was an excuse because the finances weren't really better a year later. I just didn't think I was ready. I had always run my own business prior to this, right?
Yeah.
But having the responsibility of dealing with people's biggest assets and not having any sort of brand behind me was a bit scary, I'll be honest with you. So that's why I need to gain more experience. And then when I got to the assistant manager level, I thought, okay, well, I'm ready now.
I think also during that time, if you think back to 2022, James, we were pretty much just starting our own thing then as well, and there weren't very many of us. And I think within the 2 following years of that, the exposure of EXP and our organisation and group is grown hugely. So I think it gives a little bit more confidence, I think, to people to know that they're not just going out on their own, that you can actually have a supportive network behind you. Because if you're just literally starting by yourself, it can be, like you say, very scary. But you've got to, and also the financials that you have to invest into getting it off the ground, because the cost of actually setting the business up is pretty low, but it in fact is very, very low. It's ridiculous, really. But it's your burn rate, especially if you've got 2 young children. How old are your kids? How old are your kids, Adam?
2 years, 2 months, and 6 months.
Okay. Well, I mean, I speak to a lot of people who have children of that age. I mean, my kids were of a similar age when I started it, and there's always not sort of like, oh, I'll wait until they're a bit older, or I've got 2 young children, I can't do it. Well, you're kind of living proof that it can be done. You took the punt on it for you and your family, and it's doing, it's paying off. So you're doing well for yourself.
I make the most ridiculous decisions. So I joined Foxtons when my first son was 3 weeks old, and then I went self-employed 2 weeks after my second son was born.
Well, as they say, there's no time like the present. You got to take risks in life in order to get the upside. And
exactly. There's never a good time or a bad time. It's one of those things. If you feel like you want to do this, you need to do it.
Because as we're talking about your family, Adam, how do you structure your day and your week with your partner and your 2 kids? How do you structure that around your EXP business?
We're still trying to work it out. We're still trying to work it out. This is where I need to be a very good negotiator as well. But what I try to do is just have really deep focus for a few hours at a time. So I'll be with the kids in the morning. So I'll wake up. I'm the one that wakes up first. I'll be with them between 6 and 8:30. 8:30, I go upstairs. So my commute is about 15 seconds. I sit at my computer until about 11. Then I help out with a midday nap, etc. And then in the afternoon, I usually go out. So I try to structure my viewings, my valuations for the afternoon, never in the morning, a little bit of the Foxtons way. So admin, kids, going out, kids again. And then I switch off at about 6-ish usually, to help with bedtime. And then in the evening, I do a little email sweep and a WhatsApp sweep. I feel like that really helps sort of tidy everything up for the next day.
Amazing. So you're
I was going to say, with children of that age, I mean, I remember when I was at Foxton when my first son was born, and I didn't really see him at all for the first year of his life. I was leaving the house at just before 7, and I was getting back just after 9 most days, and there on a Saturday. So every other Saturday. So I had like every other weekend where I'd see the kids, and so my wife obviously had to take the massive burden of that, but I think now, with looking back at it and also the situation that you're in, it's while it's tricky to obviously to create the boundaries and to be able to work as a dad and be a professional, but you can be present for your children and they can see you, and it's an amazing opportunity and that not many fathers actually get. Even with the work from home setup, I think it's still something which we sort of take for granted, and when you look back on it in later years, you'll realise that those struggles were actually worth it. I think because it's, but like you say, the difficulty is obviously defining work boundaries and actually getting yourself into the focus point of getting the work done and balancing that with the children as well.
That's it. I do try to leave the house sometimes when I can, just to work. We've got access to Regis offices, so I'll sit in the Regis. Maybe between my appointments as well, and that's where I find I can really focus, because being at home is tough, because I'm always available, right? Or can you take him to the toilet? Can you do this? Can you do that?
Yeah.
and then it's tough to concentrate. So that's been a little bit challenging, but the upside of that is actually being present and taking that commute away, being there for the mornings, for the evenings, for the nap time, taking them out even for a walk, middle of the day. It's nice. I was never able to experience that before.
I've taken my boys on lots of viewings before, and they've closed quite a lot of business actually. So, unfortunately, I can't pay them any. Actually, can't put it through as actual paid work because they're a bit too young at 9 years old. But soon enough, we'll be able to do that.
Adam, our first collaboration was the one on Brockley Road. I've got a 9-month-old son. I remember we were both leaving each other voice notes, both holding our babies at the time. We were there busy doing deals, but being dads, changing nappies, negotiating offers. Let's talk about your business now, Adam. So obviously when you started, how did you get it to where it is? What was your lead generation strategies? What did you get set up? How have you approached your business from start to where you are now?
So I knew what I wanted to do for a while. When James and I were talking, I was preparing this in the background. So I started growing my social media. I grew my Instagram and my TikTok account. I tried to present myself as a trustworthy estate agent, and I built contacts in the industry as well with other agents, not necessarily from EXP, but other independent agents or high street agents, and sort of tried to create a bit of a brand. And then, so I think that's really important. And then when I went self-employed, I printed out a bunch of letters, which I delivered by hand on foot to pretty much everyone in Greenwich, which was insane. And then I printed out leaflets for when I first went self-employed. I gave it to my barber shop, which actually gave me one instruction. Nice. I gave it to my bubble tea shop where I used to go to, where I'll start going again once I get my completions. And I just spread the word a lot. But I think the main lead generation was actually referrals, where I work with another agent who, if they can't service that client, we agree a fee. I take on the listing, and that's the main thing. And also leaflets. I went to value a property for lettings, and I saw the letter that I posted in December on the fridge, and it was April. So those things have a long life.
Nice.
Yeah, they do.
A few points here. So we had a podcast with Christopher Watkin last week. He spoke about what a corporate agent needs to do to get ready, and that is create a social media page using their employers' stock, employers' information. So that's exactly what he did to kind of get yourself ready. You mentioned referrals. So some people, when we are kind of corporate agents, we're not used to collaborating or referrals. What was it about you that kind of made you reach out to the other independent agents in the area? Did you think that would lead to referrals straight away, or was it more to learn from them, or what was your tactic there?
I didn't think about referrals at all. Actually, it was just to learn from them and just to say hi and say I really like what you're doing. It was just actually being genuine rather than trying to find business.
Nice.
That's literally what helped me be successful right at the beginning of my career, where I wasn't trying to sell anything and I sold stuff. And I think that's what helped me here is just being yourself, really.
Nice. And then you mentioned leaflet drops. Didn't you sell a flat in a building and then you leafleted all of the building to get another listing from the building? Talk to us about that.
No, so it was similar actually. So I do that. That hasn't worked yet, but it will. But I took on a listing, and I wasn't getting any inquiries because it's a bit of a tough market for apartments at the moment.
Yeah.
So I printed out a bunch of leaflets and I leafleted all of the buildings in the area, including the building where the flat was. So for my viewing, I turned up, put 45 leaflets in, and then a tenant from the same building went to view that flat without me even knowing. And they weren't even looking to buy, but they thought, okay, well, this is on the market. Can we afford this? They called their broker. They could afford it, and they offered. Going through the now. Excuse me.
Amazing.
So your main lead gens, they are social media, referrals, being proactive with your leaflets. Were you doing this when you were employed, or have you learned this lead generation blueprint from now being involved in the organization?
Well, there is your crib sheet, which is really good. So when anyone joins our organization, James and John send a crib sheet, which has a blueprint that you guys have worked on for over 3 years. So that was very, very helpful. That showed me, okay, well, I need to do Instagram, Facebook, etc. I already knew it, but it showed the importance of it. And while I was at the agency, while I was at the high street, I just grew my Instagram. That was it, because I want Instagram to actually be my main platform. And I know that once you get to a certain amount of followers on that, the business starts coming to you because people start trusting you.
Amazing. And then I know that you did like a YouTube video. I remember you and Hafsa going out for a day in Southeast London. How have you collaborated with other agents in the organisation, and what sort of rewards have you seen from that?
So Hafsa and I, we share listings just like we do. I do with other people now. So, for example, when I launch something that's quite exciting, I would do a brokers open. So you've been to some as well, James.
Yeah.
So I'll invite the local agents to come in and collaborate, see if they've got anyone who could buy this. Maybe someone who was offering on a property with them, they missed out. Can bring them to mine, and then I'll pay them a fee. So now there's almost 100 of us, which is amazing. And 20, 30 are usually within, I don't know, 5 to 10 miles of my listings.
Yeah.
So we can really collaborate rather than compete with each other. And that was the message that I had with Hafsa as well, that we collaborate, we don't compete.
Awesome. Yes, obviously Hafsa, single lady, just turned 30, Foxtons, Greenwich for 6 years. She's based in your area. So because we all have stock in the area, it's not about competing. It is about telling everyone in our organisation what stock we have and then inviting buyers. Because we get the fee ourselves, we have more than enough to share out with other buyers. And what goes around comes around.
Just on that, I think sometimes it's. I remember when I first started out, actually thinking, "Oh my God, there's another guy down the road doing the same thing." And I think now it might look to certain people say, "Oh my God, there's so many of you." You know, I can't. So, for example, Stratton, we've got like 6 agents in Stratton, maybe 7. And there are people that sort of look at that and think, "Oh, I'd much prefer to have a patch or somewhere I've got an exclusive, and therefore I don't want that extra competition." But I think you think about it, if you think like that, you're thinking about it completely the wrong way, because it's actually amazing to have more people around you. Because if you get a listing, like we've just been saying, in terms of collaboration, if that goes to the majority of corporate agents, it's lost forever. You're not going to get an opportunity to sell it. Whereas if it's with one of our guys, then you have an opportunity to sell it. I've had 3 listings sent to me today, which I've sent out to my database from other brokers. I've got thousands of buyers on my books, and I can get it out to many people. And I think the more we do these open houses, we just sold one in Wimbledon at 2 million from an open house, where Daniel sent buyers down to the open house as well, and the buyer bought it because they were at the open house with all the brokers and saw the buzz about the place and made an offer straight away for it. So it's certainly I think, a really good thing that we have these more people.
It's also a compelling case when you go on evaluation. Yes, I'm an independent agent with all the tools to operate as a bespoke personal agent, but we have a collective of 96 agents in this area. We have about 20, 30 agents also collaborating. I'm going to promote your listing in our WhatsApp community to invite other brokers down here as well. So yes, I'm a independent agent, but we have a team of 96 agents. It's a very kind of powerful pitch. That's for a rental. It could be a sales listing. It could be a build to rent building. It could be a whole development. Richard Aves, who's joined us, head of Ballymore New Homes, he's bringing on buildings soon because he can say to his developer clients, I have a power team of agents, 96 agents, all branch managers, director level, who are also going to be trying to bring their buyer to your listing as well. So it's a very compelling case.
Yes, I use this a lot. I use this a lot because even the Brokers Open is something that is quite interesting. No high street agent will ever do that. You see this with prime central London with properties worth 10, 20 million pounds, but no one's going to do it for something worth 500,000 or 1 million. It's rare, and it just gets lost. You know, the high street agent will have 70 to 100 instructions on their books with 2 or 3 negotiators. If they don't get the leads for it, it falls through the cracks, doesn't it?
Amazing. So you've had one completion already. So already you started in December, the first month going for admin. So you've already got some money come on. When did the Brockley Road complete? So when were you paid? After how long?
So that was quite quick. We agreed it shortly after I started, and I think we got it through in about 3 months.
Yeah. So you had.
It was like March or April, so 3 or 4 months after I joined, and it was very, very helpful of you, James, to share an instruction with me, because it would have taken me a lot longer.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So you've got factually you've got money kind of coming in at month 3 there. And when are your other completions due to complete? Would you say?
Probably from next month.
Awesome. So from sort of month 6 consistently, hopefully then 1 or 2 kind of coming through. And as a reminder, our completions by average fee is probably 5.5K. So even if it's just 1, you are still replacing your kind of previous net salary that you were earning as a corporate agent. So yes, very well done.
My average fee right now, I can work it out. So in my pipeline, I have 43,900, and it's only 5 properties.
Nice.
By 5. So that's £8,100 is my average fee.
Do you know what I think? The way that I try to get people to visualize, sometimes people will hear like 40 grand, that's not much, but actually, if you're getting 10%, that's the equivalent of a high street neg having a 400 grand pipeline, right? Because if you're getting, you're not, you're getting, until you cap on 70%, and then you'll go up to 100 if you cap. The journey really is, it's up to 6 months, and the other side of the next 6 months, Adam, will be absolutely so much different. And then it's really the second year where the magic happens. And if you can get to that year point with a reasonable pipeline, keep doing what you're doing, keep adding in, that 40 grand will come through, but you'll add another 40, 50, 60 on top. And then, of course, you're building more of your presence. You've got more listings starting to come through. You're getting more track record. It's year 2 where it really happens. I mean, James and I got straight through year 1. But year 2, my year 2 was 7x in my year 1. It was phenomenal. And then it just continues to roll from there. If you're a good quality producing agent that backs yourself, if you can survive and get yourself and do the basics and get to 6 months, the next 6 months will be much more comfortable because you'll start having money in the bank. And you'll be able to then build on what you're doing and put a bit more money into marketing, a bit more, whatever you want to do, and then get to that second year. And I think when we look at the numbers of people that have done and followed that process in year 2, most of them are in 6 figures by a significant margin.
I can see that. So when I look at my on market stuff now, so I've opened up my report. I've got 14 on the market, including pre-marketing, and the fees are 122,000.
Yeah.
So even if it's 2/3, it's still 90.
Yeah.
If that converts. So
I think I was going to say, I think it's also worth pointing out that the actual the monthly investment into a business is so small because of the EXP model and the way that it's built, so that all of the costs are actually forward forward paid for by EXP. So your residual costs are the subscription fee of 125 plus VAT or 175 plus VAT if you're doing lettings. But you're not getting that massive bill for Rightmove and Zoopla every month in your startup year, which is where, yeah.
One thing I would say to people who are starting out as well is to not be afraid to charge for marketing. So I don't know if many people do this, but I've charged every single person for marketing, and I've charged them £250 plus VAT for photos and photography, for photos and videography, and that's pretty much how much I pay for my guys as well. So that makes the cash flow, that improves the cash flow a little bit.
Yeah, so typically, we pay for our marketing. So typically, photos and floor plan are 130 to 150. Photos, floor plan, and a video, 350, 400. It can go up. So your marketing is amazing. So you can now say with confidence that this is going to help the client's listing, but you're getting them to pay. Do they pay for that up front? Do you take it off to completion, or they just pay for it up front?
They pay for it up front. I don't give it back.
Amazing.
Yeah,
and people see the value in doing that as well.
Thing is, it gives the clients a bit of skin in the game as well, because then I know I'm dealing with a serious client. If they don't want to pay for it, which has not happened to me yet, but if they don't want to pay for it, then I'll question their motives. Are you actually wanting to sell? Because you're selling a house for £800,000. Paying £250 plus VAT for marketing is not a huge cost at the beginning. And I actually had someone say to me, like, I'm surprised estate agents work for free at the beginning. Like, why do we do all of this work for free? It makes no sense for something to just fall through 6 months later sometimes.
And when that client says the other agents don't charge for marketing, what do you say then?
Well, I'm Emirates and they are Ryanair, so
there is a big difference.
I think there's it's what works for you, I suppose, and what's in your business model. And I think sometimes that's one of the greatest things about this particular way of working is that you make the decisions on what you want to do. So if you want to include marketing, include it. If you want to pay, if you want to charge for it, you charge for it. If you want to charge 2% for your work, of 1%, whatever it is that you feel your value is, there are no constraints and there are no restrictions on how you build your business, and that's what I absolutely love about it, because you can build it how you want to build it, Adam. And if that's your business model and it works for you, then keep doing it.
Yeah, some people have built it with much lower fees to get the business, and it's great because high street agent doesn't allow them to do that. They've got a minimum fee. You can't go lower than that.
Yeah,
I've taken on a different strategy. I go in with really high fees, and I'll rather have less business and earn the same money than more business and earn the same money. I'd rather do less work for the same.
I think it's also pricing in what you're worth, Adam. And I'm of a similar vein, and I charge 2%. That's my fee, plus VAT. And to some people, especially in certain areas, in Earlsfield, there are some big names that will go in and say our fee is 2%, but we'll do it for 1% before you've even asked for it. And it just infuriates me, because you're devaluing the profession. You're putting in you're basically creating a race to the bottom. And I look at it as being like, Adam, if you're a top level surgeon and you decide to go and set up your own private practice, you're not the cheap doctor. I'm not the cheap agent. If you want cheap, go somewhere else. Because that's you're getting the best person, you're getting the best service, you're getting the best experience and level expertise. You can't have that for the price of a bargain basement chip shop. You're just not going to get it.
And I had to say the line that I'm not a 1% agent.
Exactly.
We can see that you're not, and it really helped. So there's a house I'm working on now. It's worth 850,000. I said I'm not a 1% agent. There were 3 other valuations. I'm 1.75 plus VAT on that house.
Yeah,
and she's just doing some work to the house. I should be able to get it, hopefully.
Get it, Adam. That's amazing work, and it's refreshing and in the right way, in my opinion, that our industry needs to be. It's over so many years it's just been pushed down and down and down, and that is why, when you go back to that point you were saying about, say, looking at the quality of the quality of a large proportion of our industry is absolutely terrible. It's because people aren't getting paid enough. And if you don't pay well enough, then you're not going to get good people.
you're paying the 1% for like, let's say outside of London, where average sales price is 300,000, you're paying 3,000 for the sale, and then that negotiator is getting £300.
Exactly.
Right? What kind of service are you expecting for £300?
And also, where's the motivation? Where's the career progression? What the right kind of people are not going to go into that profession because, you can make more money doing other things. Whereas now, when it turns it into this, and you look at, people like myself and James and other people doing, $250,000 plus in business, and also, working at how you wish to work it, taking the time with the family, like you said, being with the children, but
That's
also
priceless.
creating a wonderful life for yourself, and also creating a wonderful service for our client buyers and sellers, customers, and giving them the best quality feel as they go through it. I mean, look at our Google reviews. James, look at yours. You've got over 100 positive 5-star reviews. If people read through our reviews, that people are, it's not just generics, it's passion and it's people. As you said, Adam, it's all about the people.
It's all about the people, and we're dealing with people's biggest assets. So now I'm able to give them a lot more of my time. Whereas before, I would be the only negotiator dealing with 70 properties on the market, 30 properties under offer. You're not getting a call from me that week. There's no way I can call you. I just haven't got time. But now, if I've got 14 on the market and 5 under offer, the level of service is very, very different. You've got me on WhatsApp. You've got 24/7 access to me. And I'll always come back to you within a reasonable time frame, always available. And that's what people are paying for, and that's what people are starting to see the difference, I think, in the general public as well.
So Adam, so you were quite tight financially. You had a second child on the way. Are you happy that you joined EXP?
I'm happy. I know, I can see the numbers in the pipeline, that I know this is going to be a financially solid decision. It is very, very tough at the beginning, but if you can go through that, then it's going to be 100% worth it. I can see it.
Amazing. Well, it's an absolute honour to have you as part of the organisation, Adam. You're an awesome agent. I did not realise you only became an agent 3.5 years ago. That blows my mind. I just always assumed that you've got 10 years. So you're doing so well, and it's awesome to see your journey as well. So well done. Keep at it.
Thank you, James. It's a pleasure being here.
It'd be great to get you on in a couple of months' time and see when you've got that big smile on your face when you've got that money in the bank.
Must have made lots of money,
But thank you so much for coming on. And Adam, if people want to get hold of you, what's the best place? Is it Instagram?
Instagram, my first and last name, Adam Priscak. Just message me on Instagram. I'm always there.
So if you're looking to sell in southeast London, is that your main area that you try to sort of focus on?
I live in Greenwich.
You'll cover anywhere.
Yeah, I live in Greenwich. Anything in southeast London, or if you've got something special, I'll come out anywhere else. I'm taking a property in Folkestone at the moment, which is very, very special.
I was going to say, what's the place in Folkestone? How did that one come about?
A viewing on a house that I'm selling here. They were on the market with another agent in Folkestone. They said, "Oh, they're absolutely, I don't want to swear, they're terrible." So can you help us? And I said, it's a bit far, but let me see. And then they sent me the listing. I thought, well, that's a really nice house. Yes, I can help you.
But also, make sure you reach out to the network, because there are people in that area that will be able to help you with, either connections and viewings, and that's the great thing about it.
At the moment, I want to handle it myself because they want me and they want my content. But I also know that for people who have listed, I don't know, someone from Scotland or really far, we have a huge EXP network where I can just refer it to someone. I know they're in good hands because, like James said, these are all really, really experienced agents. So once you're at that level where you can share the listings with other people, it's great because you still make 25% of the money, and you're giving really good service to the client.
Amazing. All right. Well, hopefully by next week, the place in Folkestone, that'll be sold if your previous success is anything to go by. Adam, thank you so much for coming onto the pod. Awesome, amazing. Yeah, great to have you part of the organisation as well. And we love all that you are doing.
All right. Thank you for your time, guys. Thanks for inviting me on.
Bye.
Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.